Serge Belangi, one of the experts in residence for LDV. I'm also a professor in Copenhagen and director of Pioneer Center for Artificial Intelligence. I've been working with Evan on organizing these events coming up on 10 years, which is hard to believe. So it's my pleasure to introduce our next guest speaker. So Alexandra Boussommier, she will be talking about empowering IVF clinics to increase workflow and maximize pregnancy success rates with AI. She is the founder and CEO at In-Vitro. She's a biomedical engineer trained in Switzerland, the UK, and the US. She's co-authored numerous publications and won many prestigious fellowships. She founded In-Vitro to build a SaaS platform that reduces IVF workflow inefficiencies. The company started pilots with 12 clinics in Europe, and LDV led their seed financing in November 2022. So a virtual round of applause for Alexandra.
Well, first, thank you to Evan and the whole LDV team for this opportunity and this great event. So I'm Alex. I'm the CEO and founder of In-Vitro, a company that's developed an AI-powered SaaS platform to make IVF more efficient. Now, I'm going to make a very safe bet, and it's that everyone who's listening to me now knows someone who has struggled or who is struggling with becoming a parent. And this is because infertility is becoming an increasingly worrying societal problem. A few years ago, it was said that it was 1 out of 7 couples that suffer from infertility. More recently, 1 out of 4. It's hard to pinpoint an exact number, but we now know this is an undeniable societal issue that we need to tackle. Now, for most infertile patients, the main solution today, medical solution, is IVF or in vitro fertilization. And while there have been millions of IVF babies born since the 1980s, there have been many more millions of patients left childless because IVF could not help them. And this is because up to 70% of IVF cycles fail. This is huge. This is unacceptable. And for patients, what this often means is that they go through repeated failed treatments. And this means that they spend a lot of time, often at an age where you don't have that much time. They spend a lot of money, and this can be very difficult emotionally. Up to 25% of couples give up after their first failed transfer. And this, as you probably know, is only about to get more and more important. More and more women are waiting later in life to become a mother. More and more people are becoming infertile because of environmental factors. And more to it, this is not just about infertile heterosexual couples anymore, but about helping anyone who wants to become a parent and for whom it's not easy biologically. Think of homosexual couples. And this is where In-Vitro comes in. We want to unlock this market that is at a tipping point, and we want to make sure that we make IVF more efficient so that no one is discouraged from even trying to become a parent with IVF. To do this, we decided to start with the one key step at the heart of IVF, and that is the embryo evaluation. In a nutshell, IVF consists of taking the gametes, the sperm and the ovule, generating 5 to 10 embryos per couple, and then maintaining those embryos alive in the lab for 2 to 6 days. This is when the embryologist chooses which embryo to transfer back in the patient. Now, for one, this is very time-consuming. It is very manual, which means very variable, and also it is incredibly hard to guess from the development of an embryo, what are the chances that it leads to a pregnancy? And based on the video, an example of the video that I'm showing you here. And again, this is where In-Vitro comes in. We leverage computer vision to empower embryologists and predict more accurately the chances that an embryo has to lead to a pregnancy. And I do want to remind you that this is literally how all of our lives begin. So this is an incredibly complex and rich process that our algorithms are actually digging into. More to it, all of this was done thanks to a unique proprietary database that we curated thanks to our pilot customers in France and Spain. But what I think is also very important to mention is that even though we're all here to talk about the power of computer vision, what we have learned very early on and what we do differently from other actors in the field is that we have understood that doctors want a holistic tool. Computer vision matters, the videos of embryos matter, but they also want to know that we've understood how complex and multifactorial their decisions are. And that's why we've collected millions of clinical data points to personalize and improve the performances of our algorithms that are being used in the lab right now. So our SaaS platform is now developed, it's been CE marked, it's been used on more than 1,000 embryos in labs, and more importantly, it is already becoming an end-to-end platform with other value-add features to keep reducing workflow inefficiencies. This is going to be sold, or this is being sold to IVF clinics who will offer this tool to their patients as part of the IVF package. For patients, this means maximizing the chances that they will not go through repeated failed treatments, but this also facilitates their communication with embryologists. And for IVF clinics, this means increasing the productivity and attracting more patients. Now, all of this has been done thanks to this wonderful and very strong deep tech team of more than 15 experts. And of course, thanks to our investors, including obviously LDV, who have led our latest seed round in November of last year. And this team shares the same vision, which is that we want to turn IVF into a dependable and reproducible solution. It is going to be hard, but it is very possible. What if in vitro and other technologies of the future could bring success rates from 30 to 80%? This is hard, but it's possible. And to get there, we could use your help. So if you can spread the word, it would be great. We're looking for IVF clinics in the US, in Europe. We're always hiring. So with that, I want to thank you for listening. And if you have any questions about what is quite literally a life-changing company, I'd love to discuss this with you. Thank you very much.